Good evening and welcome to this Monday edition of the FSU Weather Show. It's Columbus Day, but instead of Columbus, we got student meteorologist Tyler Allender and Joshua Rivas here.
I'm student meteorologist Joshua Rivas. I hope you guys enjoyed your Monday afternoon today. And if you were joining in last Friday, we were talking about that major cyclone in the Indian Ocean.
It's as if we didn't even leave.
I know, right? It's true. We opened last week. We'll open again tonight, too. It's a great show we got in store for you. But yeah, Pylene did make landfall over the weekend. And we said that it could be a Category 5. Thankfully, it was not. It was only a Category 4 at landfall.
Yeah, I'm sure wind gusts, though, were pretty close to Category 5. And the thing that really saved people's lives were evacuation. That's the big thing with this storm. One of the largest evacuations in Indian history. 1 million people were evacuated, and as a result,
only around 36 people at most died to this storm, which is a great thing. Compare that to the 99 storm that hit the exact same region. Nearly 10,000 people died in that storm, and it was nearly the same strength as well. So 10,000 to 36, that is a huge difference.
Yeah, you don't have to scratch your head to think about that one. That's a big improvement. And even in 2007, there was 4,200 killed in Bangladesh.
So
we've come a long way.
Definitely come a long way, especially for the people in India. So it's definitely some good news to see that there wasn't that many deaths in this major type storm. But right now, we're going to send it up to the wall with Mr. Troy.
Alrighty, thank you guys at the desk, and I hope you all had a great and fantastic weekend. But let's jump right into your weather headlines. And we had lots of clouds today, very dry, in fact, but unfortunately, we will run the risk for rains as we do have a storm system that is out west, and we'll actually show you that in just a moment when I go on to your map, and that will bring us to chances for rain. And speaking of that, let's look towards your national satellite and radar. You can see lots of unsettledness across the middle sections of the country, and there's that storm system I was talking about that's giving folks there lots of unsettledness. But as far as home, high pressures right now for the most part settling in across the east as we look ahead at your local radar. As for the time being, very quiet going into the evening hour, so very good news if you still have any outdoor activities going on right now. But as far as tonight's forecast is concerned, 64 degrees is the overnight temperature, so a lot milder than we've been seeing over the past few days, and lots of clouds, but still very nice indeed. Let's throw it back out to the desk with Tyler and Josh.
Thanks, Troy. And yeah, that 64 degrees does look pretty nice for an overnight temperature this time of year.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. So we have another typhoon to talk about. It's in the Pacific Ocean. And Pacific hurricane season has definitely been on the go this year compared to the Atlantic. So we've got Nari nearing landfall in Vietnam. It's very close to landfall, and it's only on Category 1. So compare that to Pylene, and that's not that bad compared.
Yeah, so way over in the western Pacific, and we're talking about the storm, but it did kill 13 people, and it left 2.1 million people without power, so a lot of people in the dark there.
Yeah, power's out. That's not the best thing in the world, but with typhoons and hurricanes or cyclones, one of the biggest components, I like to say, is clouds. Now, what does that remind you of?
Tallahassee, the Cloud City?
I like it. I like it. Cloud City, Tallahassee. So, Jack, on the wall, are we going to see any sunshine with all these clouds around in Tallahassee?
I don't think so, guys, for tonight. Look at our visible satellite radar for the past couple hours. We've been cloudy throughout the whole day. You stepped outside, it was low-level clouds in your area, so you didn't really heat up that high. We really struggled to even reach into the 80s. Currently at the airport, we're sitting at 79 degrees. Overcast skies continue to dread on our day, and I think those clouds will continue as we make our way into tonight. So our lows will only getting down to the mid-60s because those clouds will help blanket the heat and keep it here for the rest of the night. Current temperatures all across the region, though, sitting at 79 in Tallahassee, 77 in Quincy, 79 degrees up in Bainbridge, 78 down in St. Mark's, and a warm 80 degrees in Apalachicola. And I think we still have a couple more degrees to drop before night. This current satellite and radar staying relatively dry in Tallahassee. We do have that cold front starting to make its way through the region. We'll have Chris on the southeast in a little bit to tell us about that. Some storms pushing through Little Rock and into Shreveport, but in Tallahassee we're going to stay relatively quiet throughout the nights. We'll have that cloud coverage in the region, though, so be wary of that if you are stepping outside. What we have in store for the next few days, we'll have this low pressure system start nudging its way up the eastern seaboard, and we'll have a high pressure system start dominating with those winds out the northeast, so we'll continue to have those clouds in the region. We'll have a cold front starting to sag its way through into the region. I don't think we'll make a clean sweep, but so we'll still have a lot of cloud coverage in our region, and our humidity will start spiking up, and we'll see those highs starting to get into the mid 80s. and upper 80s as we make our way throughout the work week. Tonight's forecast, though, we're calling for lows into the mid-60s, 65 down in St. Mark, 64 for us here in Tallahassee, 63 up in Bainbridge, and 62 degrees in Bainbridge. We'll have lots of clouds throughout the night. Yes, that is the story for the next few days. Tomorrow, same type of story as we saw today. We'll have the high into the low 80s, 82 for us here in Tallahassee, 83 in Quincy, 81 degrees up in Bainbridge. We'll have peaks of sunshine, and depending how much sunshine we get will dictate what our temperatures will reach. If less sunshine, we could struggle to get into the 80s again today. Those winds will be out of the northeast at 10 miles per hour, so we'll see how those clouds dictate our weather for the next few days. Beach forecast, though, winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That surf is kicking up 1 to 2 feet. The UV index is still high. You get those UV rays that still get through those clouds. If you do go out there on the beach, make sure you bring that sunscreen. Just because there's clouds doesn't mean you don't get those UV rays. 7-day forecast, though, showing us those highs start getting into the upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday, and our rain chances start spiking up as we make our way into the next work week. Tuesday, though, we'll reach that high of 82, and we'll have that early morning low of 64 degrees. But I'm going to swing things over to Chris as he takes us around the southeast.
Jack, and zooming out across the southeast, you can see similar conditions from Atlanta down to Tallahassee and across the Carolina coast. As a step out of the way there, you can see 72 it is currently in Savannah, and a beautiful 71 up in Wilmington and Atlanta, 79 with a little bit of sunshine in Montgomery, a little bit warmer towards New Orleans and Tupelo, where the humidity is on the rise, and then cooler once you head out to Arkansas at 75 degrees in Little Rock. Now, the winds, this shows basically we did have that front, and most of the wind was out of the north. Now it's kind of just like meandering mostly out of the northeast, which you saw on this surface map, and we are kind of like funneling in from high pressure over the Appalachians and a low pressure just off the coast. So that's kind of like bringing in those clouds and a little bit more cloudier conditions today, not quite as warm as where we have been over the weekend and all that sunshine we had. And as we take a look into your water vapor, we are juicing up the atmosphere just a little bit. You can see, especially off to our west, that's where the system is coming in from, and we have another front approaching by the end of the week, which will give us a slight chance of rain. But you can see that dry air that we did have, that's kind of just diminishing and moving off into the Atlantic. So those sunny days, they'll still be here, but there'll be a little bit more clouds in this sky when you take your walk outside. Now the radar shows lots of moisture as we head to Arkansas, northern Louisiana, into Texas, and that's just gonna pummel into Louisiana and Mississippi and work its way east. It'll die down and not be as potent as it is right now across Georgia and the Carolinas. Bring a few showers come Thursday and Friday, but overall not too shabby as far as the rain outlook's concerned. Now I know we could use some rain, it's been a while, but I'll take the sunny weather. I'm sure you all will too. We are well above average for the year. Tonight though, it's going to be a mild night. It's going to be beautiful. Get outside, enjoy, maybe take a run. 62 degrees here in Tallahassee. 58 for you folks in the capital city of Georgia, up in Atlanta. A little cooler in Montgomery at 57. Warmer again as we head to the moisture source and all that rain, where they'll have a lot more clouds. So 67 in Shreveport and 65 in Little Rock. And then of course as we head south into South Florida, 72 in Muggy and Miami. And 75, always toasty down there in Key West. Tomorrow, though, another beautiful day. Some clouds across the region, but we will be dry from Montgomery eastward. So from Atlanta, 75 for you folks, 79, just under 80 in Savannah, 75 in Wilmington. Great day to get out on the Atlantic coast. Enjoy the beach if you happen to make it out over there. 86, though, in Muggy and New Orleans. So the Big Easy, take it easy. It's going to be quite humid and rain approaching from your west. But guys, there is major activity across the western Pacific with typhoons and cyclones, and now Japan's the next one. Give us some more info on that.
That's right. Are you guys ready for a third named storm? That's right. I got one for you. WIFA. It's approaching Japan. And I know it sounds like FIFA. All you soccer fans, I like soccer. But it's WIFA. It's heading near Tokyo.
Yeah, it got their attention though, right?
It does. That's right. It does. But it's weakening as it approaches. And the reason why for that is an eyewall replacement cycle, where you have an eyewall before and then it sort of tries to get stronger afterwards. It replaces itself. So put that in perspective, we had Katrina back in 05. It was a powerful Cat 5. And it had to head towards New Orleans at weekend.
Just before landfall, which
Right.
which it could have been a lot worse for that region. But Japan and the areas around Tokyo could get several inches of rain for this, and this only exacerbates the problems as a result from the tsunami, the earthquake, and the nuclear disaster back in 2011. That's all for us, though. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on around the nation with Brooke.
There's not really much going around with these temperatures. They're quite around the average for the month of October. 83 down New Orleans. As we look up north, we're hitting the 60s over in Kansas City, and then we hit 58 over in Seattle. A lot of sunshine over there. And down south in San Francisco, they're seeing a lot of sunshine as well. So this is typical for the month of October. A lot of cool temperatures starting to cool down, especially for this time of the year. 17 degrees difference over in Denver, Colorado. Guys, we dropped a lot since yesterday, but we did have a little heat up down in Miami by well, earlier it was by 1 degree. Now it's at 0 degrees, so Miami really haven't really changed that much from yesterday. San Antonio did get a little bit warmer by 14 degrees. They've been seeing a lot of rain, so that means those rains and those clouds are exiting that area. See a really big warm spot in the center of our nation, though. But by this graphic, you can see where there's a lot of moisture going on in our area. We have a lot of rain just happening in central United States with a lot of activity as well. Like you see the counterclockwise rotation happening, a lot of rain just filtering through. San Antonio getting some showers as well. Just not a lot of moisture, but a lot of cloud coverage. You can definitely see that over here. So again, the Dakotas are getting pounded on with rain. And also Minnesota, you guys are seeing a lot of rain as well. Dallas, Texas, getting that rain to exit the picture. Everything's just going to come and make its way to our area. So we do have an increased chance of rain over here in Tallahassee, Florida for the next couple of days. You get a really good picture of that over in Syracuse. The showers are just to the north. You guys saw a lot of rain this past weekend over in Philadelphia and also in New York City. But now things are going to start to clear on up as we make its way into the middle of the week. But down south, everything's looking pretty clear. Just a lot of clouds coming into our area, but that's not really that big of a problem. It just gives us a little cool down of temperatures. And again, a lot of that rain is just up to the Dakota area and over in Oklahoma City. A lot of showers, no tornadoes as of yet. But if anything's happening, we'll keep you guys posted back at home. But we take things over to the West Coast. It's the best coast, just kidding. But there's just a lot of clear area over, not a lot of clouds as well. You could definitely see that rotation making its way on through, though. So as that continues to filter out, a lot of places are going to be seeing some nicer conditions out there. But there is a little delay over in Dallas, Texas with that 23 minutes. So if you have any flights over to Dallas, I am sorry, you're going to have to wait just a little bit. But for tonight, temperatures dropping down into the 60s for most of our nation and then cooling back or warming back on up tomorrow with a lot of clouds. But you know what, we're going to take things on over to Carly with your local.
All right, thanks, Brooke. We're going to bring it back into the local area again. Today we saw some mild temperatures. We reached a high of 82 degrees, not too hot out there. Our low is 63, seeing very mild temperatures across the region. Not too bad for this time of year. Currently, we sit at 79 degrees. Our humidity is around 54%. Definitely feeling a little muggy out there, but overall, pretty mild temperatures. Currently in the Big Bend region, we're 79 in Tallahassee, like I said, 79 in Bainbridge, 78 in St. Mark's. We're seeing those high 70s, mid-70s all throughout the region, so still a little warm out there, but as that sun goes down, we're going to see those temperatures cool off. Our current relative humidities, we're at 54% here in Tallahassee, 61 in Quincy, 56 in St. Mark's, 50s to 60s, so definitely a little sticky out there, and we're going to see these relative humidities increase a little bit as our week moves on. But as of right now, just feeling those current muggy conditions and mild temperatures. We're seeing winds out of the northeast. That's from the flow of a system that I'll talk about in just a little bit. But overall, not too windy. We're seeing not too much going on in our area. No rain, just a bunch of cloud cover. We've seen that just about all day. That's kind of helped keep our temperatures pretty mild. We're seeing a little bit of rain up here. This is from a cold front that's going to slowly make its way into our region. But as of right now, that's not something we need to worry about just quite yet. But as I was saying, we're going to look at a high pressure system and a low pressure system that are kind of keeping that flow out of the northeast. Right now, we're seeing those mild temperatures. And like I was saying, we have a low pressure system right here. We're going to see that move up off into our northeast, and we're going to see this high pressure system slowly move into our area. This is bringing in that northeasterly flow that I was talking about. That's going to keep some clouds in our area as we move on through the rest of the week, and those clouds are pretty much going to dictate how the rest of our week's going to feel. Now, if we keep those clouds in the area, it's going to keep our temperatures during the night pretty warm, and then during the day it'll cool them off, so it's just going to depend on how much we see. For tonight, we're going to see temperatures around 64 degrees, lots of clouds, so it's going to keep it a little bit warmer, but really not too bad. As we move into tomorrow, though, we're going to see temperatures reach about a high of 82 degrees. Not too bad. This is mainly from all this cloud cover. If we see lots of clouds, we might not reach these higher temperatures. We might stay in the 70s, but it's really going to just depend on if that flow brings in a lot of cloud cover throughout our area. But it's going to stay pretty pleasant throughout the rest of the day. Now we take a look into the rest of our work week. We're going to see those high 80s throughout the area, and then a slight chance of rain as we move into the weekend as that cold front maybe makes it through. But now we're going to take it back to the desk. What's going on, guys?
Alrighty, thank you, Carly. And looking at that 7-day forecast, looks like we're going to be needing our umbrellas, right, Chris?
For sure, even though it's a slight chance of rain, but the moisture will be there, so maybe pick out a couple showers here and there come Thursday, Friday.
And speaking of rain, folks, today's Weather Days of History, guess what there's talk about?
Rain,
Rain,
flooding
rain,
rains,
rain,
and that's
rain.
for sure. Southeast Florida back in 1965, parts of them picked up over 20 inches of rain from West Palm Beach to Miami.
Particularly
Fort Lauderdale.
Deerfield Beach.
Yes.
Deerfield Beach.
Yes.
They got exactly 25.28 inches of snow, so
Inches of rain.
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 Rain. Snows.
Yeah.
Another time
That's
snow.
okay. Troy's from
Yeah.
the north, so he's used to the snow. But yeah, they picked up over 25 inches of rain, and just 10 miles to the west, only 4.5 inches. So crazy what the Florida thunderstorms can do. You know, big rainstorms, lots of damage, but hopefully we won't see an event like that anytime soon.
But in the meantime, we're going to go to Josh with a look at around Florida, man.
Thanks, guys. And we mentioned before that the clouds are moving into Tallahassee, and that's because of a nice northeast flow coming in off the Atlantic coast. 72 in Jacksonville. That wind up the Atlantic is making it cool over there, so it feels nicer in Jacksonville. But definitely some cloudy conditions across the Panhandle region. 79 in the capital city, and down the Central Peninsula, you're seeing much more 80s. 84 in Tampa, 85 in St. Myers. So plenty of sunshine down the west coast of the peninsula. Satellite and radar, well, you can see those low-hanging clouds starting to move into the Big Bend region now, and they extend all the way over to the east coast as well. So you can see that low-pressure system spinning off to the east as well, but it's definitely much clearer down here across the peninsula. But high pressure is still to our north, so not much rain in the forecast. Water vapor, the dry air is just to our east, but overall not much change compared to what we've seen over the weekend and late last week. So the moisture, it's just not enough there. The high pressure is still in control over our region. The winds, again, mostly at the north and northeast coming in off the Atlantic, so 10 in Orlando, 12 is the high spot in West Palm Beach, generally around the 5 to 10 mile per hour range. Looking closer, as like I said, the lower clouds are moving in now, so they're going to be in to stay overnight tonight. So the temperatures may not be as cool in the 50s for the past couple nights as we have seen, but the 60s, not too bad though for fall this time of year. As we zoom in over towards Jacksonville, a few spotty showers here and there with that low pressure system spinning off the coast. So they're going to move into Jacksonville, Daytona Beach. So if you're on the beaches, watch out for those passing showers, but nothing too heavy at all. Down the east, keep going down the east coast, Orlando, you're looking fine. Vero Beach, you're okay as well. So really across the entire west central Florida area, even southeast Florida as well, not much really to talk about in terms of rainfall. That is concern. In the future, what we're looking at is still a few showers along the coast with that easterly wind, so that's going to be key. A few showers on the west coast as well, maybe sea breeze oriented as well, but otherwise it's still not going to be that bad. The humidity may rise up a little bit, but there's not much moisture to work with that high pressure system moving in from the north, so we're not going to be talking about rain at all until the next front moves in later this week. Tonight, 62 in Tallahassee, 64 in Jacksonville, 64 in Pensacola, 69 in Tampa, 68 in Orlando, 68 in Fort Myers, 70s across southeast Florida where it's a little bit more humid as we expect any time of year, really. Tomorrow, 84 in Tallahassee, 80 in Jacksonville, 88 in Tampa, 88 in Fort Myers. So Florida, we're going to see 80s for now, but until the next real front start coming through, we're still going to see those touch of 80s. It's going to feel warm in the daytime. Overnight, a little bit muggy, not too bad, but 83 in Pensacola, 87 in Miami. But for now, we're going to send it to Mr. Tyler with the tropics.
All right, and well, there's not really much going on with the tropics at this time, but we'll go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and start off with our normal tropical segment. And so we're cruising through the alphabet, but it hasn't been that busy of a season at all. We've had some 2 hurricanes and 8 tropical storms, but it's quiet in the Atlantic Basin for now. Here's a look at those storm names. You can see that here, Andrea through Karen, with Umberto and Ingrid being those 2 hurricanes that I was talking about. Sorry about those technical difficulties, but let's go ahead and talk about the climatology for what you would expect for these tropical systems during the month of October. And normally they form pretty close to home in the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico, but we're just not seeing enough moisture in the tropics. We're seeing a lot of dry air that's impacting these systems from developing. We got a slight chance of development for this system out here east of the Bahamas due to an old trough of low pressure. I don't think it's going to develop. The National Hurricane Center says there's only a 10% chance of development, so it looks like our fairly quiet season continues. Another look at that here on the infrared satellite picture shows its disorganization. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, it's also pretty quiet. A couple areas of showers and thunderstorms. Again, with that trough of low pressure, there was a flare-up of convection a little bit more to the east of the Leeward Islands earlier today, but that doesn't look impressive either. Again, a pretty quiet go of things. But let's take a look at the pollen forecast and gradually bring it back to home. It seems like this fall allergy season has been a little worse than the past few years. And you can see it continues in the moderate levels for the next few days, with ragweed being the predominant pollen. No rain, significant rain anyway, to wash away that pollen anytime soon. And with all the cloud cover, it's going to look a little threatening at times, but I don't have any significant rain chances in the forecast really at all. We got about a 20 to 30% chance of rain later in the week. Here's the future cast. We're socked in the clouds tonight. That'll keep temperatures in the mid-range of the 60s. Any rain will be to our east and to our southeast. That's the same that's going to be happening on your Tuesday. The Space Coast and the First Coast could get some showers. We'll have some breaks in the clouds at times, and I think we might see a little bit more sunshine on Wednesday before an increase in clouds late in the day ahead of our next frontal system that will be moving through the southeast. But overall for tonight, pretty quiet. We're going to see some clouds moving through, temperatures in the 60s area-wide. Then tomorrow afternoon, we'll see highs in the low 80s. It's going to feel like fall, covered in clouds at times with a nice little breeze coming out of the northeast as a high pressure is over the spine of the Appalachians. So that's all that we have for the tri-state and tropical outlook. Let's go ahead and go back to the desk.
Thanks, Tyler. And you know, the Atlantic hurricane season has been quite a doozy this year, as far as relatively speaking. But you know, the Eastern Pacific is heating up. We got 2 tropical storms out there, Tropical Storm Priscilla and Tropical Storm Octave, and Octave is the only threat to land.
Yes, and Octave is forecast moving to the Baja California region over the next few days.
Only as a tropical storm.
Exactly. You know, it is expected to weaken as it approaches the Baja California coast due to the increase in dry air and moisture, but it could be good news for someone.
Yeah, Texas is in a multi-year drought and could be seeing quite a bit of rain like they have been in the past few days. So this is quite good news for farmers there. They can pick up between 3 to 6 inches of rain, which will really put a dent in that drought. And that will continue on for the next few days.
But of course, you know, they do run the risk for flood, and as we are expected to get an abundant amount of rainfall, and we do have flood watches and warnings in the region, so just stay tuned out for that. In the meantime, we're going to throw it out to Allie for your wall. Allie, how long is this going to stay cloudy?
No, didn't warm up as much as we have been expecting, but still, we reached a high of 82, which is right on tap for that average, so we're looking good there. And our low was slightly higher, but that is because of those clouds, you know. We couldn't dip all the way down because the clouds were just holding in that warmth, so that's why we weren't so low our last night. We're at 79 here in Tallahassee with a humidity of 54%. So it's not too bad, but don't get used to that because those humidities are going to increase as we go throughout the week. But a little bit more about that later. Current temperatures, like I said, we're at 79 in Tallahassee, and it's pretty much consistent throughout the whole Big Bend region. We're about the high 70s throughout, which is pretty consistent.
For our winds are mostly out of the northeast, and that is because of the high pressure system that is just bringing winds down from the northeast because of that counterclockwise rotation. And we'll see more of that on our surface map. So here we go. Look at that satellite. Looks pretty clear. We do see a few clouds, but we're no rain for now. Nothing for tonight or tomorrow. That won't come until closer to the weekend, and still it'll be a little hit or miss there. And as we zoom out just a little bit, pretty much the same story for all around the Big Bend. Just a few clouds, not too much rain in our future until the weekend comes, and we'll get to that right now. So here we go. For our future cast, right now we're at nice mild temperatures. These are these clouds that I was talking about. However, this low pressure system is going to move up towards the northeast, and then this high pressure will move down in its place. So this is the clockwise rotation that's going to bring those winds down from the northeast. And then as that keeps moving, that's when this cold front is going to come down on the other side. And with cold fronts come rain. So that's why our humidity is going to increase. And if we do have rain, it's just going to be little pockets, might be a little bit of hit or miss. So nothing too much, don't have to worry about for this weekend. And for tonight's forecast, 64 degrees, pretty mild. Because of all those clouds, it's not going to dip down into those 50s, stay about 64, which will be nice. And for tomorrow, pretty much the same story as today. We are going to have lots of clouds, so we're going to start off around 64. It'll start warming up as the sun peeks through just a little bit, and then it will get back up to 82. So if we do see a lot of clouds, it might stay in the 70s, but hopefully we'll get a little bit of sunshine just to bring our temperatures up just a little bit. And for our 7-day forecast, looks pretty nice. Not too much rain until the weekend when that front comes, and even then, just a little bit of rain, 20% chance, and we can see our temperatures drop just slightly. However, it will be a nice weekend. So let's send it back to the desk.
Alrighty, thank you, Allie. And as Raider mentioned, it's going to rain.
Yeah.
Not excited about that. So there is a place that I probably want to be wanting to go. If you want to escape the rain, of course.
Sure, the New England states, their weather is improving after the remnants of Karen became like kind of a nor'easter up there, and is finally going to be off the coast, diminishing, and high pressure going to be building, bringing them a lot more clear weather, drier weather, perfect for those leaf peeping activities, right?
Yes, including, some of you know that I'm from the Northeast.
Yeah, New York.
And this time of year is just really, really gorgeous to see all the leaves changing and just the cool, refreshing air. It's just really nice. And actually, if you're planning on going to visit in the Northeast, like may want to check out Seneca Lake, because they have those wineries there. So just really great sceneries around the Finger Lakes region. Just to if you're planning on visiting there.
Lots of outdoor activities, great to enjoy. And moving it back to our neck of the woods, we're going to see cloudy skies, still average for this time of year. So enjoy our beautiful, cool mornings, mild mornings, 60s. Overnight, as you can see in the 7-day, clouds looks like it'll be here with patches of sun every day or so, but rain moves back into the picture this weekend and another front approaches. But anyways, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather, or watch us anytime at livestream.com/FSU Weather.
And I'm student meteorologist Troy Fields.
And I'm student meteorologist Chris Bruin. Have a great night, folks, and enjoy your work week.